This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have seen about your data element, and we have seen about your domain, and we have seen about your primary key initialization and a client independent versus your client independent tables. So till now, whenever you're creating the table, you're getting a message stating that application table must be a client specific. So all your application tables contains a mandate field. See here, all the application tables must be a client independent tables. So you need to provide that mandate field. You need to provide the mandate field. So that's it. So that's the one main thing which we have to do. So the first field, so when you are creating the application table, what will be your first field? Mandate is your first field. So after that, whatever the fields that functional has been provided, so that you will be taking care of it. Okay. After that, what are the functions has been provided? Now, let me go to SE11. So let me open my table and click on my change. So here, what is my first field I need to add? I need to add my mandate as my first field. Mandate, which must be a key field and initialization, and I'm going to add this as my mandate. Mandate. So this is what. So now I'm just going to save this and activate this. So you are not going to get this, only the warnings you will be receiving. What is those warnings? Enhancement category is missing. Enhancement table category is missing. That I will be telling you at a later point of time. So now the next thing is how to add the data into the table. In order to add the data into the table, so we need to go to utilities and we need to click on table contents and we need to click on your create entries. So now SAP will open a screen. See here, whatever the color which you are seeing in blue color, these are all your key fields. These are all your key fields, and these are all your non-key fields. And see, automatically the client number has been populated by SAP itself. You don't need to populate the client number. SAP will populate the client number automatically. The remaining data you have to populate. So now I'm going to add a record 1, and then let me go ahead and say Ravi P and C. You will be getting an F4. If I say it as Y, now see here, enter a valid value. So what are the values that are applicable for gender? So in order to know the valid values, you can select this one or you can click on your F4. See, male, female and trans are the valid values. So other than that, if I provided anything, it will provide me an error. In the same way for employee designation also, I have created managing director, trainers, front office team and back office team. So I'm going to take this as trainer and array some XYZ. So this is what. So now I'm going to take my mobile number. So that's it. Now you need to click on save. So now see here you'll be getting a message stating that database record has been successfully created. And then reset it and you can go ahead and add your data. So it's simple. So that's the one. So I told you click on utilities, table contents, create entries. Now SAP will open an application and we can take your data. So what are the issues with this approach? What are the issues with this approach? A major issue is, see, you can't able to add multiple records at the same time. We can't able to add the multiple records at the same time. And can we edit the existing data? Can we edit the existing data? No. So from here it's just a create. We can't able to edit the existing data. We can't able to edit the existing data. Now, May I know how many records were there? So if I go back, it will directly going back to my table level. So we can't able to see what is the previous data I have added. So we can't able to see what is the previous data, I have added. So these are the things. And the major thing is we will never give an access to SE11 to any business user, or the end customer, business user or the end customer. So to overcome the above issues, SAP has came up with a new solution to overcome the above issues. SAP has came up with a new solution called as the table maintenance generator, TMG. We will be calling this as in real time TMG. So TMG. So what is meant by a TMG? A TMG is a program. So ATMG, what is meant by this? Table maintenance generator. A program which will be created, a program which will be created by SAP. We are not going to create by SAP. So by standard SAP, it will create a program which will be created by SAP based on our inputs. Based on our inputs. So this program will act as a mediator. This program will act as a an interface between the screen and the database. In the screen and your database. So that means we have to create a screen. So in that screen, we are going to add your data. When you click on save, this program will be executed and it will update the data into your database. So this is what the table maintenance generator is. So what are the inputs I need to pass? What are the inputs we need to pass to create the table maintenance generator? The first one is the function group. The first one is the function group. The first one is your function group. The second one is authorization object. And the third one is screen maintenance type. And the fourth one is data dialog transport. So these are the four things which we need to provide. And once you provide this, just click on create. Once we provide the above details, click on create. SAP will create a function pool program. So this is one type of a program which will be gets created by SAP. So to add the data, via TMG, via TMG program, we need to use a T code called as called as SM30. So this is the generic transaction code for every TMG what you created. So for any table, if you have created for table A TMG, in order to maintain the data, we will be going to. If it is table B and TMG got created, in order to maintain the data, we will be going with SM30. So any table which contains a table maintenance generator, in order to maintain the data, so we will be using a generic transaction code called as your SM30. So this is the most important transaction code which you will be using in real time. Okay, so most of the tables which we are creating, so in real time, 99% we will be creating an application tables. Out of that 99% we will be creating a table maintenance generator. So for every scenario, almost like I would say 90% of the 99% of the scenarios, we will be creating a table maintenance generator. In order to maintain the data, the generic transaction code is SM30. SM30 is your generic transaction code to maintain your data. Now, the first thing is your function group. What is meant by this function group? So a function group. So this is your exact driver program. This is the driver program or an interface program. Interface program. So driver program or the interface program. So which will move the data between the screen and the database. Between the screen as well as your database. So the naming standards for this function group is the naming standards for this function group is the table name. So whatever the name we are providing for the table, that same table name we will be providing over here. So we will be seeing a function group when we are creating the function modules also. When we are creating a function module also, we are going to see the function. At that time, the naming standards is different. But over here, we will always use the naming standards as your table name. Okay. Now coming to your authorization object. So this is the second level of authorization. The second level of authorization. So the first level is we will be maintaining at display slash data browser slash table view maintenance. Data browser slash table view maintenance. I told you that. So who is having an access to the program who can maintain your data? Yeah. So data browser. Who has an access to maintain the data or display the data? But over here, I already told you, we will be always keeping it as display slash maintenance allowed only. So here we will be maintaining our authorization group. So these authorization groups will be created. So here we will be maintaining. So with the help of this authorization group, this will go ahead and configure to which person I need to provide an access to edit, to which person I need to provide an access to display the data. So this is the second level of your authorization. So previously, this is the main level of authorization. Right now, the Fury has came up into picture. So we are maintaining the authorizations at the Fury level. We are maintaining the authorizations at your Fury level, not at this level. So that's why I told you the second level. So we do have a third level called as at your Fury. Even we can also maintain the authorization at the transaction code level also. So, but right now everything has been moved to Fury front end, so they can able to use it from your mobile phone or laptop or tablet or anything. So they can use it. So we will be providing the authorization at the Fury level, not over here. The complete authorization has been changed, has been moved to the Fury. So because we in real time, if you are working on S4 HANA systems, so if it is an ECC, then it will be in this case only. If you are working on S4 HANA, then it will be moved to your then it has been moved to your Fiori. So Fiori, so you will be creating a tile for it. What is meant by a tile? Tile is nothing but your application, like your Facebook tile, WhatsApp tile, what you are seeing on your mobile. In the same way, in Fiori also, you will be seeing the different tiles or different applications. So for that application, whether you have an access, if you have an edit access, when you click on that application, it will go for your edit access. So if you have a if you have a display access, it will only show you in the form of your display. So that's why I maintain this as your second level of authorization, as the S4 has been came up into picture. As S4 has been came up into picture. If the S4 is not there, then I would always say that this is the main level of authorization. So now, if you are working on ECC systems, if you are working on your ECC systems, you need to ask what is the authorization group that I need to provide. So if you are working on your ECC system, then you need to ask what is the authorization group. But when you are working on a HANA system, we will pass a default authorization group as ampersand NC ampersand. So that's what. So this is the second level of authorization, and these authorizations will be created in a T code called as SU21. SU21. So SU21 is a T code where you will be creating your authorization objects. So and we will assign these objects, we will assign these objects in while creating the TMG. While creating the TMG. But as of now, we are not going to use it. So in real time, when we are working in ECC systems, we need to check what is the authorization group I need to assign. Whereas in SAP S4, we will maintain the authorization group as ampersand NC ampersand, which is nothing but no authorization. As of now, there is no authorization. Where the exact authorization will be maintained while creating when we move to Fiori tile. The exact authorizations, will be created when we are creating the Fury tile. Fury tile. So this Fury tile can be created either by us or by security people in real time, either by us or by security. So I have a document when we are starting with S4 HANA, then I'm going to give you that document with you guys. Okay, so how to create that? Now, so this is all about your, but in training, we don't have the authorization group, so we will use ampersand NC ampersand only. So in training, so right now we will be using ampersand NC ampersand, but when you started your career, so you need to know whether it's an ECC system or an S4 system. How can you know whether it's an ECC system or an S4 system? Go to system and click on status. Go to system and click on status. If your database is not equal to HDB, remember that. If your database is not equal to HDB, then it's an ECC system. If it is an HDB, then it's an HANA system. But there is also another way, because We can use HANA DB on ECC also. I told you ECC on top of HANA. So which is the R4 system. So now in your product version, click on this product version, and here you can click on your installed product version. See here, all these are ECC product version. When you are working on your S4, you will be seeing here your S4 HANA. So S4 details it will be showing you over here. The major thing is you have to see on your installed product versions. On your installed product versions, by that you can know whether you're working on your ECC or whether you're working on your S4 HANA. So there you can see the ABAP Foundation 2020, ABAP Foundation 2021, ABAP Foundation 2022. So like that. So the ABAP has been upgrading whenever the HANA has getting upgraded. The HANA systems are getting upgraded. The ABAP is also trying to get upgraded. So ABAP like that. So now, but anyways, you will be knowing with the help of your colleagues. But if you want to see on your own, this is the way where you can able to see that. Okay. Now let me close this one and let me close. Now, so but in training we will always use the ampersand NC ampersand only. Next, coming to the screen maintenance time. How we want to see the screen, how you want to see your screen for a TMG, for your TMG. So in this you will be having two things. One is single step screen, and the second one is your two-step screen. In your single step screen, when we click on change, when we click on create/change, if there is an existing data, it will show us in the change mode. It will show us in your change mode automatically, and we can change the data. We can change the data. We can change your data. How many records you want, you can go. So we can change the data, how many records we want. How many records we want. Whereas in two-step process, in the first screen, it will show us in a display mode. So we need to select the record, whatever the record we want, and we can edit that record. We can edit that record. But for creating of entries, we will have a create button. So in real time, we will always use this single step approach. We will always use the single step approach. So we won't be using the two-step screen. So as per my knowledge, I'm telling this. So I didn't use the two-step procedure till today. Till today, I didn't use the two-step procedure. But even I didn't see any table. So whatever the tables that has been created, I didn't see any two-step procedure. Okay. So approach. Okay. So now this is what. Now okay. So the next thing is we need to provide. The next thing is we need to provide the screen numbers. We need to provide your screen numbers. So if it is the single step, you will be providing one screen number. If it is just two step, then we will be providing two screen numbers. So if it's an single step, then we will provide the one screen number, and if it's a two step, then we need to provide two screens. Two screens. So the screen numbers we can provide it. The screen numbers we can provide it, or we can ask SAP to provide a screen number. We can ask SAP to provide the screen number. So except 1000, the screen number 1000, we can use any other screen number, but in real time, I will use from 9 series. So that means from 9000 to 9999 screen numbers, because SAP has told us 9 series screen numbers are the numbers which has been provided to us, like how they have provided Z and Y. In the same way, 9000 series numbers has been provided for your custom developments. So that's the reason I will use this. But you can ask SAP to propose your screen numbers. No issues at all. Okay, so this is what. Now, once you have, I'm going to tell you this. Once you have provided the above details, just click on create. SAP will create your function pool. Now, so these are the things. How to the to step to create the table maintenance generator. So open the table. Open the table in SE11 change mode and click on utilities and click on the table maintenance generator. So that's it. Now I'll go to my utilities and click on my table maintenance generator. So I told you, so these are the things: authorization group, function group, and maintenance screen. So one step or two step, or if it is one step, you will have to provide your overview screen. If it is a two step, overview screen and your single screen has to be provided. And this is the data dialog transport details I'll be telling you at a time. Okay. So now let me provide these details. So what is the authorization group I have to provide? Ampersand and C ampersand. What is the function group? The same table name we are going to provide. And we are going with the single step, and you can ask, fine. So propose the screen number. See, SAP will always propose your screen. So now once you have proposed, once you have done this, just click on create. Just click on create. So it will ask you the transports as well as your packages. So you have to provide your packages and transport. So just click on create. By providing the package and the PR So this is what. One second. System is running slow. Just give me. Guys, just give me 5 minutes. We are restarting the system. So it will. Okay. So guys, just provide the packages and your respective TRs, and the TMG will be gets created in real time. It will take a maximum of 5 to 10 seconds at max. So because the servers over there are very faster, but over here the servers are little bit slow, it will take almost like 40 seconds to 1 minute for creating of your table maintenance generator. In S4, it will be very fraction of seconds. So max to max 2 seconds or 3 seconds, not more than that. That's it. Now my table maintenance generator has been created with that warning messages. That's fine. Now How can I maintain the data? What is the transaction code? SM30 is the transaction code. So I'm going to SM30. By default, my table will be get shown. And now I'll click on maintain. I'll just click on your maintain. Now see here, I have added the data. The key fields we can't able to change that. And the non-key fields you can able to change your data. So whatever the data, if I want, I can change this to trans or I can change this to space also. Space. As this is a non-key field and it is a not null, not we didn't set up the initialization. So we can provide it as space also. Okay, so I'm going to, but anyways, I'm going to save it as mail and just click on save. See, the data is already saved. Now when I click on new entries, see, it will show you multiple records you can able to add. So multiple records. Now when I say it as 2 and I'm going with the Shruti, yes, female and employee designation friend of HT and ss@xyz.com. Then that's it. Now when I click on save, the data will be get saved. When I go back, see here you can able to see whatever the data you have entered, it will be shown. So whatever the issues that you have seen in your previous will be overcome with these. Whatever the issues. So what issues we have seen? The issues we have seen is we can't able to add, but here we can able to add. We can't able to edit the existing data. We can able to edit the existing data. We can't able to see what is the previous record I have added, but here we can able to see. When I click on back, so it will show you the list of all your previous records. And even when I come back and click on maintain, see, it will show you the list of all the records that are there in your database. So now whatever the issues, but this SM30 is a generic transaction, right? So SM30 is an generic transaction code. So now if I come to this SM30, I can give whatever table I needed. So I want to edit table A, I can give table B also. It will go ahead and maintain. If I provided it as ampersand and see ampersand, let's say, and I have provided SM30 and I have provided table B. So where that we can able to see the data too of table B, or we can maintain the data of table B2, which is again an issue, right? So you have to only see the table A data or table A display or table A edit. You should not see the table B or anything. So for this reason, this is a generic T code. So where we can access any table. So for this, for the security reasons, we will never give an access, to the to any business users, slash your end customers. So this is one. So now, as we don't have, so we don't have an access to SE11, we don't have an access to SM30. Then how the data is going to be maintained? So as we don't have an access to SE11 and SM30, so how the business users will maintain the data, For this, we will create a transaction code. So we will be creating a transaction code for this TMG program. This TMG program, we will be creating a transaction code, and security will assign this transaction code to the the respective users, respective business users, or I can say this as simply the users. Okay, so now how to create, this is the most important interview question, most important. If you are keeping till 3 to 4 years of experience, for sure you will be getting this question. So how to create a transaction code for a table, or steps to create a transaction code for your table. How to create a transaction code for the table, or the steps to create the transaction code for a table. For a table, most important interview question. So now over here, the first thing is to create any transaction code for any application. So that means whether it can be a report, or whether it can be an interface, or whether it can be a forms or anything except workflow. Except workflow. Workflow, we will never create any transaction codes. So or tables. So tables, reports, interfaces, conversions, forms, for everything. In order to create a transaction code, we will use a T code called as SE93. So SE93 is a transaction which is used to create our custom transaction codes, which is used to create your custom transaction codes. So open the T code SE93, and then provide the transaction code as per the naming standards. As per your naming standards. For table, we will create, so we'll just remove the T. So Z J27 employee table. So it will be Z followed by your application area, underscore your description, or users will provide the T code. With what T code they want, users will provide that T code, or functions will provide the T code. If they are not providing, then you have to use as per your naming standards. Okay, if they have provided, you have to go ahead with that provide transaction code and click on create. SAP will open a pop-up window. In that provide the description of the transaction code, and select the radio button. This is what they used to. This is what they want to listen from you. So when they are asking the steps, if you say this word, so the radio button transaction with parameters. So then they will say that you know how to create a transaction code for it. So they want to know this this word, the transaction with parameters, and click on continue. So SAP will open a screen where we need to provide the following details. The first one is, see, SAP will ask you what is the transaction code. So it will ask you the transaction. What is the transaction we have used? SM30. So how you are opening the table? SM30. So we have to provide SM30 and then select the radio button. Skip initial screen. Select the radio button, skip initial screen. Why you have to select? you will be knowing when you create your transaction code and provide the input parameters. Input parameters. So what are those? So when I go to SM30, what is my parameter I'm providing? My table name, and I'm selecting on this maintain. So these two parameters I have to maintain over there. These two parameters I have to maintain over there. So parameters. So what is that? The first one is the view name. You have to provide the view name. The value you have to provide is your table name. So table name you have to provide. And then for maintain, you will be having something called as your update. For maintain. So for maintain button, you will be having something called as your update. And for this, you need to click on capital X. Okay, X must be in capital letters. So once you provide this, click on save. Click on save by providing the package and the TR. So that's way we will be creating a transaction code for your table. Now let me go back to that. So what is the transaction code? /SE93. Now here I need to create my transaction code. I'm just going to copy my table name. I'll just remove. Okay, I'll just click on create. Now T code for employee table. Then we need to select the transaction with parameters. So depends upon the things which you have selected, the next screen is going to be changed. Depends upon the screen which you selected, the next screen will going to be changed. So if you select program and screen, which is nothing but your module pool programming, there is a concept called as module pool. So that is what. If you select program and selection screen, report transaction, for your reports, interfaces, and conversions. So we will be using this one. So the remaining two things we will never use it. We will never use it. Okay. So now just click on continue. So here I need to provide my transaction code SM30. So now I tell you need to select the checkbox skip initial screen. As of now, I'm not going to select this. So I'm going with view name is equal to my table name, and then update is equal to X, capital X. Now just click on save by providing your package as well as your TR. That's it. Now when you click on execute, you can execute from here. You can test that from here, or you can pass this transaction code in your command prompt. So now I'm going to pass this my command. Now when I say click on enter, see here, it will be showing you your table name and it is showing you the maintain equal to X button. But when I provide this screen to the user can change again your table name, right? It has an option to go ahead and change this. So I don't want to show this screen at all to my user. To do that, we need to select skip initial screen. We need to select skip initial screen. Now when I click on save, let me close this. And now let me run the transaction for one more time. Run the transaction for one more time. See, directly it will open your program. It is not showing this. So this is how you will be creating your transaction codes in your clear with this. So now in tomorrow's class, we are going to see, we will be continuing the table maintenance generator only in tomorrow's class, how to move the data of an application table from one system to another system. So this I told you, by default, you can't able to move the data of an application table. So if I go back to over here, see, the data in the table will be never gets transported by default from one system to another system. but we do have an options to transport your data. So now we are creating your application table, how you want to move the data of an application table from one system to another system. So the next thing is, what will happen if I change the table? If I change the table or table fields, what will happen if I change the table fields, or if I added a new field, or what will happen if I change the existing field or added the table fields? So will those reflect, will those fields will reflect in the table maintenance generator automatically or not? Automatically or not? So this is the second topic we are going to see in the tomorrow session. And next, how to populate the data automatically in SM30. So I want some data to be gets auto populated. So I don't want that. I don't want to go ahead and maintain the data. It has to be auto populated. How can you do that? How can you do that? For this, we will write an ABAP code. We'll write an ABAP code. So this is also the most important interview question. This is also the most important interview question. So remember that carefully. Okay. How to populate. And the next one is how to make the fields gray out. How to make the fields which the data is populating automatically to a gray out. Data is populating automatically to gray out. So that means we should not change the data. We should not change the data. So how to do that? So by this, we will be completing our complete database table except enhancement category is missing. Enhancement category. Category is not defined. So this we are going to see that in your tomorrow's class. Enhancement category is not defined. So this we are going to see in your tomorrow's class. So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off for today's session, any other questions? Any other questions? Guys, still my laptop has not yet prepared, so I'm unable to upload this running notes. Once my laptop is back, then I'll be uploading this running notes. So as I told you in yesterday's class, from yesterday's onwards, the recording will be gets uploaded on your June 27th, the June 27th folder. Okay, so yesterday's recording has also been uploaded. So today's record will also get uploaded on or before 6 p.m. in the evening. 6 p.m. in the evening, so you can check after 6 p.m. Okay, so that's all for today, and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll continue our session. Thank you all.